Second prep test, insane improvement. Super happy with this, and I still have 6 weeks until the SAT to maintain and maybe even improve this score. Since a lot of people asked, here's how I studied for the RW module. I'm an international student and English isn't my first language, so the RW module is a pain for me and my brain tends to struggle a lot during the test when reading lots of passages. That said, here's how I study. Point 1. The Critical Reader, 5th edition by Erika Lynn Meltzer, a fantastic book. It gives great strategies towards the reading section of the RW modules, the one I struggle with most. Only downside to it is that there aren't a lot of practice problems. The first chapter on vocabulary in context had 30 questions while the rest so far only have about 10. This is why I'd suggest pairing it with something like Khan Academy or Barron's Digital SAT Prep 2026 edition releases at the beginning of August for more practice. 2. I started reading a lot. I don't mean casual books like Harry Potter, but scientific and political articles. I subscribe to Scientific American, which is a magazine that apparently the College Board really likes taking articles from for their questions. It's a very important point to emphasize every passage in the SAT is based on something. They don't just write fiction, it's all based on a real article someone wrote and did research on. Hence why preparing by reading articles is so much more powerful than books. Something to add on this is that I don't just read the articles, I also like to summarize them. When going through an SAT RW question, you can't just skim through everything, with a few exceptions like the big picture questions. Therefore, you should really practice reading to understand and not just skimming through articles. By summarizing later, it forces you to understand so you know how to rewrite it in your own words. Also very important, if you just repeat the author's words then you didn't understand what he wrote. 3. Vocabulary is really difficult if you ask me. I couldn't really find a proper source for learning vocab without paying for an entire course. Instead, what you should do is write down every word you don't know. This is also where articles from Scientific American and sources alike can be really great. They like using strong words that the SAT just loves. See a word you don't know? Stop reading, look up the definition of that word and write both the word and definition down in an organized list. Personally, I also like writing down ways to remember those words' definitions. Here's an example of how I write down words: disapprobation, strong disapproval, typically on moral grounds, disapprove with probation level seriousness. Later, it's very important to go back to those words and go over them again. I recommend using flashcards for this, so you can see the word then try remembering the definition yourself before confirming whether it was right or wrong. Don't try to remember the Oxford definition. Remember something catchy and funny that would be easy for you to. I coded my own flashcards tool tailored to how I like studying. If enough people will be interested in it, I'd love sharing it. I can't say much about the math section as I don't really study for it. I want to be a math major for a reason. LOL. Good luck to you all.